Welcome to Subramani. Recently I did a session for IFAs or MFDs on making an impact on client relationships, and one of the topics there was client communication. And I started by saying, first of all, you should know enough about the client. I have found MFDs who think that they have a big client because they've got 1 crore relationship with him. But it was in a IFA meet or MFD meet or the IAP which the MFD was doing, where I realized that the IFA was very happy, MFD was very happy about a relationship with a client, and the client had 1 crore with this MFD, and he had, hold your breath, 49 crores with others, right? So these kind of things happen. So what is the most important thing? First, to be able to communicate well with your client, you have to know the client well, right? You cannot communicate with the client when you don't know the client well. And how many clients can you really know well? 20, 30, it's tough to know beyond that, right? So first of all, I think you should choose what is your client profile that you want, which is a client profile that you can really sustain. And when I say client, I wouldn't say client, I would say customer. Customer being a person who is accustomed to act on the advice given by you. If he's a person who is anyway dealing with many others, then you're just one of his service providers, then it may not really matter, right? Of course, I'm sure you want to convert that whole client to be just your client, to be your customer. But sometimes it may not be possible. Then you just give up and say, okay, because if you are selling very many things, like you're selling educational loan, you're selling health insurance, you're selling wealth solutions, then a guy who has come to you for car insurance could be very different from the lady who came to you for her retirement plan. So that they're completely disconnected. So the lady who bought a retirement plan from you may have a health insurance taken from her neighbor, and that relationship may be 28 years old, and that is not likely to change just because you are a new service provider. So first of all, before you start communicating with the client, know the client very well. Why is the client investing? What does the client want? When does the client cease working? When will the client retire? How much of health insurance you think he needs? How much of health insurance he thinks he needs, right? How much of health insurance is covered by his company? How much more health insurance he wants to buy? All those things you need to first know. If you don't know, you can't communicate. I think it's a very simple thing, right? So first thing is you have to know the client well, and second, you have to make the communication count. I think these sending birthday greetings and wedding anniversaries is nice, but I think it becomes pretty irrelevant, especially when you don't know the client very well. So a client who is actually born on say August 14th, and he is officially, his date of birth is 14th of June. Obviously you're going to wish him on 14th of June, and he's going to say, oh my God, another person who doesn't know me has wished me. So the whole purpose is lost, right? I want to be wished on my regular birthday, not on a day when I have officially said this is my birthday. Especially if the two dates are different, it's going to be more an irritant than a great source of pleasure. So first of all that. Second, therefore you have to make the communication count. The communication has to be effective. Pick up something which you know the client is interested, send it to him. Sometimes the client does not want any of that stuff. You may do something together with the client. You may talk to the client about tennis, you may talk to the client about cricket, and keep those discussions completely separate. But don't try to mix that with, not every client can become your friend, not every friend can become your client, right? Very few of my friends have become my client, but many of my clients have become my friends. So that has happened. So, but again, it depends on age group, the interest levels, and what you want to do together, and all that. And the question is the client really free to find time to chat and things like that? So the communication has to be clear. Then how you do the portfolio review? I think you should do the portfolio review with the stakeholders, which means his wife should understand what you're doing, and if his wife does not participate, you have to somehow find a way to get the kids to participate. When you are dealing with a single woman, you have to ask her who is the next of kin, who should have some understanding of what is going to happen to her portfolio after her death. There are many women who are reasonably well off and who are single, who are unmarried and all that. They need to find somebody to whom they can either talk or confide or things like that, because at some stage if the client is unable to handle her portfolio, you will have to ask that other person to step in. So similarly for men who are single, they are widowers or bachelors, never married or divorced, don't have children, then you have to know who is the next of kin. So all this knowledge is necessary for you to first of all communicate well, and then when you're doing portfolio review, you keep the other person in the loop, at least at the periphery. They need not be fully involved, but they should know some of these things, right? How do you charge a fees? Are you fee charging RIA, or are you an MFD with a fee coming from the manufacturer, right? So client, it's nice to let the client know how you're charging a fee and on what basis you will revise the fee, right? Then there are two types of worries now. One is those clients who are just not interested in knowing any of the things which are happening. Supra, as long as you take care, it's okay. Don't bother me with the details. There are others who will read every piece of information in the market regarding investing, regarding market timing, regarding what Rakesh Jhunjhunwala thinks, what Damani eats, and what Vallabh Bansali talks, right? They would read everything possible and watch YouTube, and they will ask you questions based on that. That's fine. You will have all types of people as long as you are able to tell them, look, your portfolio is handled well. It is, I'm in line with what you want. You want your money after 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. There is money lying. That is enough. Other money of yours you need after 10 years. That is lying in equity. I don't care whether the market is up or down. You don't need the money for 10 years. Therefore, it is in equity. As long as the client understands what you're doing and you're able to communicate what you're doing and saying what is being done is with the best intentions and this is happening, that's good enough. You don't have to report on a daily basis. But when the client is, you have to react to two things. One is client's real needs, that is your job, and second, client's anxieties. Client may actually be worried. He may say, oh, market is too high, what do you want me to do? Market is too low, what do you want me to do? Should I remove? Should I not remove? Clearly make them focused on their goals, which means they will focus on their goals, which is what your purpose is. Your purpose is to make sure that people get rich by focusing on their goals, right? Another thing which is happening today is clients are or customers are using a variety of options. So they're using an ETF, they're using an index fund, they're using a passive fund, they're also asking you to pick some fund managers who are good, they are taking some insurance, they're taking some ULIPs, so they have a plethora of products and they don't know, if they need money, they don't know from where to withdraw, and if they have money, they don't know where to put. So that is exactly where you come in. So a portfolio review, yes, and then a focus on the goals. Saying, oh, your son is already doing CA and you don't require much money, so that you can use all that money for your daughter in case she wants to. Yes, my daughter wants to do medicine, so I may require more money than what I required for my son because he is doing CA. Fine, these are realignment. Now, if the daughter is in class 7 or class 8, you need to know that some more pumping up into equity can be done, and this time it will be for the daughter. So it could be lying in the same funds or similar funds, but the equity portion should be reduced constantly, because after 12th class, which means in 4 years, she is going to need the money, right? But she is going to need the money in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then post graduation. So she is going to need it over a long period of time. So it could be a combination of debt and equity. So you explain why you're doing what you're doing, why there are 6 funds for your daughter and only 1 fund for your son. Similar thing, right? Same parents and all that. So you say, no, but your son does not require money, because the chartered accountancy course is not very expensive. Maximum is going to cost you is 2-3 lakhs in terms of tuition fees in case he attends classes and things like that, and that also with videos it might come down, so it might require just 2 lakhs. But your daughter may require 25 lakhs per year in a good college, government college, and over 5 years that's 1.25 crores, and instead if it goes to a private college straight it goes to 2.5 crores. That's the kind of money which you have to be prepared with if your daughter wants to do medicine. Explaining all this and keeping the client constantly educated is very useful, and better to engage with the client on these things rather than talking about what is happening in the market. Abhi kya lagta hai, steel will go up, oil will go down, sugar will go up, cotton will go down, paper will go up. We don't understand commodities. We don't understand the impact of macro on the micro. Pick up good stocks, good funds and stick to them. That's what life is all about. So the discipline, the goal and the focus, and conveying all these three to the prospect or to the client, that's your job. It is as simple as that. Be focused, have goals, talk about the goals. Don't talk too much about markets. You move money as per your goals. You don't move money as per your market. Unless you've specifically invested in a fund which is say pharma fund, and you think pharma fund has given too good return over the last 3 years, and you think now it can't give great return, and you want to remove from a pharma fund and put into an infrastructure fund. I'm just giving you examples. You see how the fund managers are shifting, or you say let's forget it here, we have made good money in pharma fund, let's put it into just one regular fund, right? Could be a value fund, could be a growth fund, something like that. And so communicating properly, communicating to a person whom you know, that I think is the essence of the relationship. Thank you.